What do you think would happen if you went off of meth?
Um, I don't have an issue with going off of meth. I think a lot of it is more about control. I feel like a lot of my life has been controlled in the way that I no longer have control of my life.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't have my life. I don't have my kids, my house, my job, my health. I'm out here. Once I get everybody out of my mind, like them reading my thoughts, I know I can get off it. That's not an issue. Because then I would have control of my life and I wouldn't feel the need to control something that I would need to get an addiction or feel the need to have an addiction.
Yeah. But it's compensation kind of for that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of the drug addicts. That's kind of their like. Not, I wouldn't say it's an issue, but what they're going through as
That's
well.
the cycle, right? That a
Yeah,
lot of
so
addicts
they
go
lose
through.
control, just like with Britney Spears. She lost control of her life, and her dad had it. So then she got heavy into the drugs and the drinking, and I think that goes for any person, really.
Yeah.
And I'm no exception. So.
Are you able to see your kids now?
Not really, no.
Would you be able to if maybe you went off meth?
It's not really about the meth. As it is the mission, having people retaliate against me if I even go up towards that side. I can't even go to the library and gain. I have no access to information. They make sure that if I have devices, they don't work, there's no internet, because then I can't learn. My kids miss and love me as much as I love and miss them. And I find it hard to figure out how to end this because they tell me everybody in town is involved. Because, come on, is it really this big? Busy? We're not Denver,
It's a pretty busy town.
I notice that if I like something, it shows up. But, they're not only fucking with my mind, they're fucking with everybody else's mind, And they use the homeless to talk about how disgusting we are and how they don't want us in their city. But, they don't do nothing for us to help us move forward or succeed in any way. We go in later on in the evening, 8:30. 8 to 9, I think. And then we are out either by 6 or 7, sometimes 8. Well, unless it's freezing, then at 9. There's nowhere for us to go. If we're homeless and we have things that we gotta carry, we're not allowed to leave it at the mission. If we do, they end up dumping the dumpsters. That means if we leave anything there, we lost all of our stuff. Okay. And then we're like, and that's already a struggle because sometimes that might be all the person has. They do offer clothes and whatnot, where we were eating, but they don't provide you a bathroom to change or any of that until they open the doors at night. Well, a lot of places, they don't let you go into the bathrooms, especially if you're homeless. And, for females, it's hard because after I find it about 4:30, just because the Riverwalk bathroom, I find it very difficult to use the bathroom anywhere. That means you have to slow down on drinking and eating, and if it's that time of the month for the female, well, good luck, They talk about everybody. The bathrooms, I hear them talking to me in the bathrooms, so they watch everybody. Everybody has access to my mind.
I have So I worked with addiction and with drugs, and a lot of the things that you're talking about might go away. I don't know how much. They might not all go away, but they might get less if you stop doing meth. Because meth, have you ever seen a picture of a brain on meth?
I know I haven't.
So they take it's called an fMRI.
Mhm.
fMRI, they put radioactive isotopes in your bloodstream, and what they
Mhm.
do with that is so they can X-ray it. They take lots of little pictures really fast, and they measure it in your brain, and that's how they can see the blood flow in your brain, where it's going, by measuring those isotopes.
Mhm.
And when they do that, they'll do it for different people who are on different things. And for example, someone on meth, they have holes in their brain up here in their frontal cortex where there's no brain activity. And that is where where your decision-making process happens. Executive functioning happens there. That's what they call executive functioning. So it's like, it makes it harder to make choices, especially long-term decision making. So if you want to save to buy, you might be able to save to buy like a pack of gum.
Mhm.
That's easy, right? But to save for like a house or something, your
Mhm.
brain just really can't put that all together if you're missing this part, which is where meth attacks. It
Mhm.
attacks the frontal cortex, where the executive functioning happens. You just lose that. So
Yeah.
that's also kind of part of the cycle that happens is, you can't make a decision that's oh, meth isn't good for me. It's kind of pushing me into this place. If I stopped doing it, I would be able to heal my brain enough to make long-term decisions and make long-term goals. So that's kind of how it gets you in that cycle. But if you're able to stop, your brain can heal. It'll heal
I
itself.
would love to even do one of those things
Yeah.
and see how my brain, my activity is inside.
Yeah, especially if you've had brain
Sometimes.
damage and stuff, they can actually help with that. If you've like hit your head, it'll show in an fMRI where you've taken brain damage, and it'll also be a hole. But there are exercises. They just have to figure out where the damage is in your brain. There's exercises to work out your brain so that you have a higher brain activity after that. But the
Um,
meth for sure is one of the most heroin, and cocaine are some of the hardest hitting on your brain. They will it looks like holes. That's what it looks like. It's not an actual hole, but it's like there's no blood flowing into that area.
okay.
Because what happens on meth is all of that stuff is amped up, like times 1,000.
Mhm.
So those chemicals that are naturally running through your body, the dopamine and serotonin and everything,
Mhm.
it's released at a really high rate, and it makes your brain overactive to the point where it burns itself out. And then when you're not on meth, it feels like you can't think. It's kind of foggy, right? It feels,
Mm-mm.
oh, it's not for you? Well,
No.
it for some people just feels like it's harder to make decisions that are good for you, and it's harder to think.
Yeah.
Meth is it's literally, it's an acid, and it's just corrosive, you know.
I do understand like the side effects,
Yeah.
you know, of meth use, but I don't smoke it like through my mouth most of the time. I do smoke it through my nose, like just a regular bowl.
As soon as it hits your bloodstream, it doesn't matter. That's where it's going, and that's what it's going to do.
Yeah, I noticed that during the time of 2024, it has and 2025, it helped me focus. Like I would just be lost or like going crazy with the voices that I would hear, and I would smoke and then I would focus. So that could explain ADHD and
Yeah,
Ritalin,
absolutely, yeah.
So maybe that helped in the way that it had similar side effects or similar effects of Ritalin.
Yeah, someone with ADD would probably like meth more because it does clear that up. ADD is like, you have this synapse in your brain, right? And dopamine is like the lubricant that helps your synapse fire. So if you don't have enough dopamine, it's harder for those synapses to fire at a regular rate. So for somebody who has ADD, sometimes you'll know a word. I have ADD. Sometimes you'll know a word and you won't be able to think of it for like 3 hours, but you've used it like 100 times. Like the word door, somebody's like,
Something simple.
Can you show me that thing? And I'm like, that thing, what is it? I like that you has a handle on it, and yeah, it's something simple. And so sorry, and you just can't think of it. So when you take the meth, you get a huge burst of dopamine in your brain, and so your synapses are super lubricated, and so you're able to function at a higher level. You won't forget the word door, most likely, especially if your brain is not used to that dopamine. The more used to it, like if you're doing meth over and over and over again, it starts to not work as well, and you'll go back to not being able to remember the word door.
Can we switch sides?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh!
Because I'm deaf in the spirit.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd rather have this
Yeah. Cool. Oh, we're not going. We're staying. Yeah, just what she says.
Yes. I do smoke different. There was a time where I would smoke to try to find motivation, try to focus.
Yeah.
But it actually took me low.
It was hard.
It would make me feel depressed.
Yeah, totally. Well, there you go. Yeah, you might, after you stop, when you go off of drugs and your brain's repairing itself, things aren't going to feel as like exciting for a while. It'll be kind of boring because you're used to so there's another time when your brain...
Oh, that would be while I was on it. It would make me like...
Oh, you'd be depressed when you were on meth?
Yeah, it would make me feel like sad, super sad or depressed.
So you tried to go off of it, but it made you depressed when you were doing it? So you wanted to be depressed?
No, like I would do it, and I did, get high. There were times where I did go into the hospital just to check my mind, make sure things were okay.
Yeah.
I could smoke a lot and still be calm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could still talk perfectly fine. I could still keep eye contact, all these other things.
Yeah.
But then there'd be times where I would hear these things that would make me feel like I'm crazy, and I would go smoke just so I could block it out of my mind.
How long would you go without sleep?
The longest I went was 4 days.
4 days?
During those 4 days, I heard the same voices that I'm hearing now. Well, maybe not exactly the same ones. I know some of them are still there, but they were telling me to destroy the house. They wanted to get me kicked out, and as long as I destroyed it, and then the landlord would have reasons to kick me out.
I gotta say, try it for a little bit. Just if you ever decide, try not doing meth for a while.
I have. There's times where I'll go a week, a couple weeks without it, and
what do you think when you're off of it?
I think that I have no reason to live, and I don't want to, because of my kids, because I have no control of my life, and because I'm out here and I have nothing. Like, I had everything. I was abundant. I went from homeless to manifesting me a 3-bedroom house for me and my kids out of nothing. I didn't have the deposit at that time. I didn't do nothing, but I was able to get on Section 8, so my rent was paid. I had food stamps, so there was food in the house. Eventually, I got us all furniture and the house fully furnished. I kept it clean. I'm out here and I'm like, I can't even keep myself clean. Like, 2 months is the longest that I've gone, maybe 2.5 months, the longest that I've gone without a shower, because I'm disabled. I have the brain injury, and then I was diagnosed last year with schizophrenia, so I find it hard to get things done.
Yeah.
So I don't really don't like it. And I'm just like, well, I'm just another person that they're waiting to make money on. They told me that they wanted me dead because there was life insurance money that they wanted to collect. My house is number 7. It wasn't, they tried to kill me since they can't kill me and God won't let them. They tell me all the time that they're going to kill my daughter and that my daughter needs to kill herself. So my daughter and I don't conversate, and she tell me what happened in the house. I do have brain scans and whatnot.
Well, you do have a reason to live, and community misses you and needs you.
The whole town actually hates me.
Who does?
The whole town.
The whole town?
Yeah. I see in the way people act, in the way, like, I can't do anything without people making fun of me, trying to act like they're gonna scare me,
That's how it feels.
you know.
Yeah.
Make fun of me because I might have the same clothes on for 3 days. I've gone to cooperative care for clothes, and I took them over to the mission. I've had so much stuff missing just from taking it over to the mission. I don't know if there are notes all over town, but during the time I was inside the house, I wrote everything down, you know, and how bad things were getting. And with the injury as big as they claim that I have, like, there's no way I should even be able to write notes the way that I did, you know? I've been trying to figure out how I can bring this to an end because I understand my situation. I know the type of person I am. God has shown me so much love, and I don't even have a person to show me the correct love, you know? And my heart for people is big. Like, I will, if I see other people, and you know, I'm so glad you're here because the way they treat the homeless is not okay, you know. But I feel like nobody listens to me because everybody's convinced I'm wrong or I'm lying. My brain won't let me lie. So I'm always trying to figure out my brain.
What were you lying about? Or you said did you say you were lying or you weren't lying? Oh,
No,
you're
I
not.
thought I wasn't. Yeah, I said my brain, it
Gotcha.
doesn't allow me to lie.
Oh, cool.
So I could tell you a lie, but then I'll be like, psych, that was a lie.
I thought that's
like,
what you
I'll
just
call
did.
myself out, you know?
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about God a lot, and I think from my experience, that's a good reason to live.
Man, even if it wasn't, like, if I could tell you all the connections, my eyes and my brain, they see everything. They can see the meaning to things. I can look at somebody and understand if they're a good person, if they really mean the help, or, like, my mind understands body language. I could even talk in a whole nother voice. Like, that's how bad things have gone in my house. Like, I really didn't know that.
No, that hurts. I know. I've hated myself for portions of my life. Absolutely. I feel that. I can see that you feel that. But God loves you. God loves you a lot. You are
and
precious to
then you on
God.
these people, like, how do I get treated so bad? But they try to tell me that, they try to tell people I'm God. And, you know, like, when you hit your head, it's almost like a restart, you know? It's not a retard, it's a restart. I figured out a lot of puzzles in the world. Everybody says the puzzle of the world is a puzzle, so don't figure it out. But that's not true. You know, when we are on this end and when people don't show up good, there's puzzles in the world just for them. So they could always find a riddle to laugh at. They could always see beauty somewhere and be happy. That's what he wants. And so restart. When somebody hits their head hard. They really need to learn how to talk again, walk again, coordination of some type.
Yeah.
And
Rehabilitation.
for me, I think it was needing to know the difference between love and hate. And I've been getting so much hate and mockery. Like I don't claim to be God, but I know He's there with me, and has helped me a lot. So
Outside of the addiction community, the actively using community, there are so many people that love you, Eminem, and I'm bringing that from them. I love you too, and I know for a fact that God loves you. You're not alone, and as soon as you decide to let that go, you're going to see the world change. You just got to let it go.
I have a lot of proof of the things that are going on.
Yeah.
The only thing is, there's nobody to investigate to say that what I have tried to report is true and not just my mind.
Yeah.
Like they automatically want to say it's my mind, but like I struggle every day just because I have nobody to see if I'm telling the truth. I could take a lie detector test.
I wouldn't worry about any of that. I don't know if that matters. I believe you. It's fine. It's okay. That part doesn't matter. The part that matters is like those chemicals are killing you. And it makes sense because you have lost that reason to live, right?
Which is what my kids.
Right.
My kids were my gift from God, and I will give them the whole world. I will learn to find a way to make it mine, clean it up, and get it to them for them to own.
Yeah, and you can do.
That's how much they mean to me, and I feel like them not here and being told that I'm not a mom, that they deserve to be somewhere where their health is not getting taken care of, their education is not really a right of theirs. It's hard for me. Anytime I get a phone, it's usually hacked. Like, what if I had an emergency? Like, how do I call somebody?
Right.
Who would I call?
Right.
So I have that going on.
I don't know what all the circumstances are around your kids, but I feel confident that if you were off of everything and you're sober
I want to
and
be.
clean.
And I have been ready to give it up for a long time, but they don't want to give me my kids back, and it's not even court ordered.
Sure. And
everybody messed it up. Like, my kids had love. They were happy. I was happy. And, outside of my family, having me be homeless, I see the way that they are treated. Before I ended up homeless, like, me and my daughter, we would help people out. And if they needed food and we saw them, like, sitting outside the store, we would go get them something. Like, I was trying to teach my daughter how to help those that are less fortunate. Because if we have it, then we can always provide.
Yeah.
For somebody, we can give them something.
Yeah.
That way they can hold on to faith themselves and not die in faith. Yeah. That would be similar to, like, dead but alive. Dead in faith, but you're still alive.
Yeah.
And
well, you got this. Just start today or whenever you're ready. It's all on you. It's all up to you. It won't start before you're ready, but